For now, the Chicago Bears need Kyler Gordon. Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bears Breeze. My name is Philip Charles Vanderhayden IV, aka Philly the Fourth. I'm here with you today on this episode, with the dawn of training camp to talk about Kyler Gordon. So everybody's really disappointed that Kyler Gordon has started off the season on the physically unable to perform list. And again, it sounds like a soft tissue thing. I think it is. It's like a hamstring or something. And it's really disappointing. Obviously, there's a lot of disappointed Bears fans, and but what I would say, there's a lot of overreactions happening right now, and it's not overreacting to suggest that you're disappointed that Kyler Gordon is not practicing yet. That's very, 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 very fair. And Ben Johnson himself has looked like he's kind of tired of Kyler Gordon's continued, appearance on the injury report. I think he said something to the tune of, the best bet, and what we all know, and that's like the best the best trait is availability. That like playing means everything. You've got to be on the practice field. You've got to be, putting that work in with the rest of the team. You can't expect to just show up every now and then and expect the team to just welcome you back with open arms and play you all the snaps and everything. But the thing is, right, is that right now the Bears we don't know that they have a replacement. And let me explain what I mean by that. Malik Muhammad, the Bears' 5th round pick, I believe, he looks like he's promising, and perhaps he'll be the guy that can replace Kyler Gordon at the nickel. That being said, we don't want to jump the gun, right? I see a lot of Bears fans like, we got to get rid of this guy. We should have never signed him. I don't like doing that revisionist history. Kyler Gordon earned that contract that he signed. Now, did he have injury issues his first 3 seasons? He did, but he also played most of the games, right? Like, if you go back and you look at his games played, he played most of the games, earning that contract. And there was all the reason in the world to believe that Ryan Poles did the right thing by getting out in front of his contract. He signed him a year before his rookie deal was up. And there was reason to believe that was a smart move because Kyler Gordon is a really good football player. And if he wasn't hurt most of the time last year, he would have played well enough to demand a contract that was beyond that of what he ultimately signed with the Bears. So what Ryan Poles did was obviously you don't expect a guy to only play 3 games after he played most of the games the last 3 years. It was obvious that he was able to get injured because he definitely missed some games his first 3 years. But like, let's be clear, like people are kind of acting like Kyler Gordon has always missed this many games. He's always been this guy. That's not the case. While he might be on the injury report all the time because he was certainly on the injury report a lot, but then he would still play on Sunday. So last year was the first time in his career where he missed most of the season. But look, when Kyler Gordon was on the field last year, the Bears were significantly better. And there's like, I'll show you right here. I've got some data. So I know this is a little small. I'll read it. The Bears, if you're on a phone, I would encourage, turning the phone sideways. The Bears defense was dramatically better with Kyler Gordon last year. Last year, EPA is a measure of basically like how good someone is doing against you. And when you're a defense, you want that number to be negative because that means that the offense is not doing very well against you at all. And obviously, a positive EPA means that the offense is doing well. So if you look here per play, I mean, the difference is a 0.21, which might not sound like a lot to you and me, but basically the difference between Kyler Gordon being on and off the field was pretty dramatic. With Gordon, I'll read the rest of this here. For defense, more negative is better. With Gordon, Chicago performed like an absolutely dominant defense. Without him, opponents generated positive EPA through both the air and on the ground. The greatest difference was surprisingly against the run, where Gordon's physical tackling, blitzing, and ability to fit inside from the nickel position clearly mattered. The raw scoreboard influence was substantial too. Gordon appeared in only 3 regular season games: Washington, New Orleans, and Philadelphia. They allowed 17.7 points per game, and Chicago went 3-0 in Kyler Gordon's 3 games. Gordon played 117 defensive snaps, which ended up just being 10.9% of the Bears' regular season defensive workload. However, Chicago allowed 415 points across the regular season. Removing the 53 surrendered in Gordon's 3 appearances, that means the Bears allowed 25.9 points a game without him. That's an 8.2 point difference. So I understand that that's not like there's some variance there. Like Kyler Gordon probably by himself is not worth 8 points difference a game, right? But the overall point, because it is a small sample size, so you can't really say that for certain. What you can say though is that it's clear that the Bears are better with Kyler Gordon. Like with him, the Bears defense played like a top 10 unit. And when he played in the playoffs, I know he played against Green Bay after 2 drives. I can't remember if he played against the Rams. I can find out real quick. But so the point is this. Kyler Gordon is a very, very valuable football player. He has value to this team. Now, yes, he needs to be on the field for that value to come through. But you also just don't get rid of a guy like this. So, yeah, Kyler Gordon played against the Rams, and I thought so because, look, in the playoffs, didn't our defense look much better? And Kyler Gordon came in after the first 2 series of the Green Bay game, which did not go well. And we obviously seen how our defense started to lock up the Green Bay offense with Kyler Gordon on the field. That's the thing. Right now, like Kyler Gordon is the key to this defense. So, yes, it sucks that he's not available, but he kind of has – we're kind of, it's a little bit of a rock and a hard place for the Bears because, yes, we can't accept for Kyler Gordon to continue to be on the injury report. And if he has another season like last season, I think it's a strong possibility he gets cut next year. Because this year he has, if you try to cut him, he costs $17 million against the cap. He would cost an additional, like his cap hit is like $12 million something. It would be 17 something if we cut him. So there's you basically have to pay almost $5 million to cut him in addition to what he's already being paid. There's no benefit to it. So the Bears are going to have him on the roster this year. How many games he plays, I think will directly result in what happens next year. Because if I'm not mistaken, the cap hit is much better next year if we choose to cut him next year. So, the ball's in Kyler Gordon's court. We need him. Like, look, if he ends up being out for some games and Malik Muhammad steps up and the Bears defense can perform just as well or close to it with Malik Muhammad on the field at nickel versus when Kyler Gordon is on the field at nickel, then great. Then we can, we can move on from Kyler Gordon without feeling like it's a big deal. But if Malik Muhammad doesn't produce those results, or at least like if he's promising, you could reason yourself, well, he'll become that good next year. Okay. But if Malik Muhammad struggles, then you're again between a rock and a hard place. Even if Gordon misses a lot of games this year, do you really, if he's making that much of a difference for your football team when he is healthy and you don't have a viable replacement for him, I don't know how the Bears can afford to cut him. So it's really hard because he's so good. He's great when he's on the field. He's a great tackler. He's a phenomenal blitzer. He's a playmaker. He makes big plays. I mean, against the Rams last year, he had 7 total tackles, 3 solos, and a sack. Like he's one of our best pass rushers from the nickel position. I know that sounds insane, but it's true. Like last year, I predicted Kyler Gordon was going to have 5 picks and 5 sacks. That's not a crazy prediction if he's healthy. So, I know that Bears fans are mad at Kyler Gordon right now, and they have every right to be. But we also have to understand just how much of a difference he makes for this Bears team. It is sizable. And until we find somebody that can close that gap for us, where the Bears are still playing good defense, even when Kyler Gordon isn't on the field, whether that's maybe we need our defensive line to take a step. Maybe Austin Booker getting better would help that. Maybe Grady Jarrett returning to form would help that. Maybe Dexter playing a little better against the run would help that. Maybe Jordan Vandenberg living up to his extremely amazing athletic score and being a great rookie defensive tackle. Maybe that would help. Maybe Malik Muhammad. Maybe he'll help. Dylan Thieneman and Kobe Bryant. Maybe they'll be better at the safety positions, and maybe that helps a little bit. The fact is this, we're probably going to get data. Like Kyler Gordon's probably going to miss some games, right? That's an easy assumption. He's probably going to miss at least a few games this year. The difference is, I think if he's available more than he's not available, then I think you keep him. But if he plays less than 8 games, then you got to look in the mirror and say, I don't know if we can keep this guy as long as we can continue to play good defense when he's not on the field. But if he continues to be the linchpin like he was last year, like when he's on the field, the Bears are a top 10 unit. When he's not, the Bears are a bottom 10 unit. You're kind of stuck with him. Because until we can figure out a way to play good defense with Kyler Gordon off the field, we're stuck. We need him. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about Kyler Gordon? Do you want to keep him, or are you hoping that the Bears can find them a way to play good defense without him so that you can move on from him? I know that injuries are frustrating, but I've got to believe that Kyler Gordon doesn't want to be sidelined because he's so good when he's on the field. I've got to believe that he loves football. Like, you don't hate football and then play that good, because it takes physicality, like heart, to play as good as Kyler Gordon does. So it sucks. It's like, I don't think he's, on purpose, like being lackadaisical or not taking care of himself, because when he does hit the field, he's a beast. But there's something wrong in the way that he takes care of his body or something. There's got to be an explanation for how he has so many soft tissue injuries, and there's got to be a way for us to attack it. I don't know, man. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Please do leave a like on the video. It's very helpful. I'd be very appreciative. My name is Philip Charles Vanderhayden IV, a.k.a. Philly the Fourth. As always, long live the Chicago Bears, but most importantly, long live you, Breeze Nation. And training camp is here, baby. Let's go. Moving forward, I'll be able to cover some real football, some actual practice stuff for you guys. I can't wait. Let's go, baby. Football season is starting, and I'm so excited. Bear down, baby.